Next up, I'm going to show you how to implement comparisons on your own types. However, before we do that, I should caution you. Just like for implementing equality for reference types, implementing comparisons is something that, more often than not, you shouldn't do. And for comparisons, that advice applies to any type, not just reference types. In fact, I'd say it's quite rare that it is appropriate to implement the IComparableT interface. And here's why. Let's look at our food class. Let's say you decide that you want to be able to sort foods, and therefore you want food to support comparing instances to see which one is greater. How would you sort them? What would you put in the compareTo method? Maybe sometimes you want to sort the foods alphabetically by the name of the food. Maybe sometimes you want to sort them by the food group. Maybe you'd want to sort by something else. Let's say, for example, we were developing the food type a bit more and we gave it a field to store the calorie count. It's plausible that you might want to sort foods by calorific values. All of these are perfectly good ways to sort food instances, and any of them might be what you want in some situations. But none of them stand out as the natural way to sort food instances. And the thing is, if you have food implement IComparable of food, then you have to choose just one way of ordering food instances for the compareTo method to use. As an example, you might implement IComparable of food to sort food instances alphabetically by their names. If you do that, you are really declaring that sorting alphabetically is the natural, default way to sort food instances. And I think you'll agree that's not really correct. There is no one natural way to sort foods, and that means you probably shouldn't be implementing IComparableT for the food type. What you really should do in this situation is write some custom comparers that know how to compare food instances using different criteria, and then you can plug in any custom comparer as needed. That's something I'll show you soon in the module on comparers. And that kind of situation is very common. I would suggest that if you find yourself tempted to implement IComparableT for some type, step back for a moment and ask yourself whether it would be better to implement a comparer instead. But occasionally situations will crop up where it does make sense to implement IComparableT, so I need to show you how to do that. So I'd better give you an example where IComparableT is appropriate.